All right, good morning. Happy race day. It's Andrew here with Fast Cars, Fast Money, and I'm back from my Michigan NASCAR weekend. Was able to go up there for the truck race and the cup race, which was a lot of fun. And now we're back and recording a video for Pocono today. So they did move the race up. It's going to be early this afternoon, like roughly around 1 o'clock Eastern time. So little limited on being able to get some lineups in. But when we talk about Pocono, it is a big track. It's a 2.5 mile, relatively flat triangle track. There's a debate if there's three turns or five turns at Pocono. But regardless, it's 160 laps today. So really not a super high lap count. Yes, dominators are always going to be important for the most part. But when we talk about 160 laps, it's relatively a lower scoring slate compared to a race with like 300 laps or 400 laps. Um, we've run four races at Pocono in the next gen era. I would say Indy and Michigan are probably the two tracks that are the most similar to this, just based off of size. So I think you can really look at how they did in practice, how they've done over the four races, and then, how they've done at Indy and Michigan as well too. And hopefully that'll kind of help us figure out where we want to lean today. So up top, we got Hamlin, Larson, Reddick, and Blaney. 2026, it's been hard not to play the Toyotas, and that's where I'm going to be going again here today. Hamlin has just been on fire. He's looking to win his third race in a row. Pocono is also a very good track for him. He's the odds-on favorite to win and a heavy favorite, if that. Uh, Starts on the pole, should be a lap leader. He won this race in 2023, coming off a kind of dominant win there at the end with just pulling away from the field once he had clean air. He's going to start the race with clean air. So hard not to start your lineups with Hamlin. Just know that he's going to be very popular, and a lot of people are going to be playing Denny Hamlin today. So, who are potentially a pivot play? I think you can look at Larson. He starts on the front row, so if Hamlin has a penalty or an issue, or just the team misses on the setup, whatever it might be, Larson's right there to take advantage of it, and you can get him at much lower ownership. The only thing is Chevy's just has been okay this year. Just the Toyotas have been so dominant. It's hard to ignore, the Toyotas. Reddick's going to be a really popular play. He gives you some place differential upside with good speed. He's been one of the few cars, if not the car to beat this year, or at least one of the cars to compete with Hamlin. He is currently your points leader as well too. So I really like Hamlin and Reddick. I think Blaney is okay, more of a tournament play. He did win this race in 2024. But he's kind of the odd man out for me, at least up top. Hamlin's the heavy favorite. Larson has the lap leading upside with the track position. Reddick offers the most place differential and good speed. And Blaney's just kind of right there in the middle. So he'll probably be the lowest owned of the four drivers up there. Once you get down to the 9K range, you got Briscoe, Bell, Byron, and Elliott. I think Briscoe is a good tournament option. He did win this race last year. So you could either look to pivot off Hamlin and play Briscoe. You could pair them together. Really good track position, should be fast today. Christopher Bell would be high interest if he didn't have the injuries basically coming into this race. And it's kind of miraculous that he's even able to race today, or is he's attempting to race today. Brandon Jones is going to be on reserve if Jones cannot, or if Bell can't go. So the concern with Bell is, how healthy is he? He's basically driving with one hand. Even though he's in a fast car and gives you some place differential upside, we know he is not 100%. Byron's okay. He kind of starts around where I think he's going to run today, so not really a target play for me, but someone I think you can get to in tournaments. Elliott was a little concerning for me in practice and qualifying. I expected this team to do a little bit better, actually a lot better than what they did. However, this team's just been so strong this year. They did win this race in 2022 and were really good at Michigan, prior to, the big impact there with Bell. So where he's priced and where he starts, I'm encouraged. I'm hopeful that they'll be able to run well today. So I don't mind going to Elliott, but there are some cheaper place differential plays that we'll talk about here in a second. Ty Gibbs, I think, makes a lot of sense. Kind of another tournament play. I Very similar to Chase Briscoe, just even cheaper. Another fast JGR Toyota that has good track position and has had good pace. Was also very fast at Michigan before they had some issues. Hocevar would have qualified up near the front, but he got loose in pretty much wrecked in qualifying. But he was able to, save the car and still qualify 26, which is pretty impressive. So with that, he's going to be starting a little bit further in the field than he should. I think he gives you some good place differential upside, and he was very fast at Michigan. Busher's another one of those tournament plays. He was actually P1 in the 5 lap averages in practice, so that's encouraging. A little bit more of a tournament option, someone I can see maintaining their track position. Don't know how many people will really play him starting sixth either. Logano, I'm just really not getting to today. He really only has one top 10 finish and 4 Pocono next gen races. Penske cars have been okay, but yeah, I think there's other plays that make more sense. Chastain has just Trackhouse in general has been kind of having a down year, but Chastain for sure has had one of the worst dips in performances from previous years. If we talked about like intermediate style tracks, Chastain starting 24th, it was you automatically plug him in, but the speed, at least this year, just really hasn't been there. So unless they can kind of get lucky on strategy or, their cars wrecking out, I really feel like this team is going to struggle. I would much rather play Bubba Wallace and Brad Keselowski. Wallace wrecked. He was not able to take a qualifying time. They are repairing that car, so he might not be as strong as he would have been without, the incident. But he starts DFL. We know that he should be much faster than majority of the cars in the field today. So he gives you some good place differential upside. Brad Keselowski, the same situation as Bubba Wallace. He starts deep. He's very affordable. We know he's going to be faster than a last place car, and he's an average finish here of 12th over the 4 Pocono races. So really like getting to Wallace and Keselowski, but just like Denny Hamlin, a lot of people are going to go with that type of lineup construction. So, maybe those are some good opportunities to find some pivot plays. Suarez and Jones are both tournament plays for me. Where they start is definitely risky. I think it'll keep ownership down, but the speed's there. They were both fast in practice. They both ran very well at Michigan, which is a similar style track to Pocono, and that was just last week. And they backed it up again today, or yesterday, I should say, with their qualifying efforts. So the speed's there. Are they going to go out and lead laps? Maybe. Can they maintain their running position? I'm encouraged. I think they can. But if they have, below average days, it's really going to hurt your line. Bowman and Cindric, I'm just really not getting here. Bowman didn't have great pace at Michigan, and despite his qualifying result, his Pocono practice times were pretty slow. Austin Cindric kind of qualified around where he practiced, so he just doesn't really project that high. SVG, kind of slow in practice, but he starts so deep in the field that he really just has to finish the race, and getting like a 23rd, 25th place finish, I think is reasonable. Not that that is great for your lineups, but it's not going to kill your line versus an Austin Cindric. If he finishes like 25th or something, you'd rather have, SVG in there. Ryan Preece, his price continues to plummet. Very, very just unlucky or unfortunate circumstances seem to continue happening to him. But it's a fresh week. Starts deep in the field, kind of like Keselowski and Wallace. We know the speed of this car will be much better than where he starts. Zane Smith, I think, makes sense in tournaments. Pretty strong at Michigan. Good pace as of late. Starts 18th, so a little bit more of a tournament option. Josh Berry qualified around kind of where he practiced, so kind of like Cindric, I think he just kind of runs around that range. Connor Zillage is having one of the worst rookie seasons of all time, which is very shocking. I think this team is struggling. I think he's frustrated. Things are just building off of, piling on. They are looking to avoid another, consecutive last place finish. So hopefully they can at least finish the race. So DFS wise, I do not want to go there. Michael McDowell, AJ Allmendinger, both kind of practiced around where they or qualified around where their practice times were. Given some of the cars in the field as they're advancing their way through, I can see both of these drivers kind of falling back a handful of spots. Riley Herbst, I am interested in. It's the first time he's priced up in the 6K range. So when we talk about Chastain having kind of bad performances as of late, Riley Herbst has been on the opposite side of the spectrum, having good performances as of late, even though they announced that he will not be back in this car for next year. Starts 25th, pretty good speed for, a 2311 car for $6,000. John Hunter Nemechek, I think you can make the same argument for him as, maybe Suarez and Jones. Maybe Suarez and Jones have more upside than John Hunter Nemechek, but these Legacy Motor Club cars have found something as of late, and the speed is there. So, a driver in the 5K range that has the speed and the pace to like compete for a top 15 is very rare. Um, Wish he started deeper in the field, but I'm not going to ignore John Hunter Nemechek today, even if it's just 10% of ownership. Austin Dillon, kind of the same thing with SVG. He's very cheap, starts very deep, really just needs to finish the race and he can score you points. Don't love it, but certainly don't hate it. Ricky Stenhouse would be kind of the pivot play off of Austin Dillon, a little bit more of a tournament option, decent pace. And then really from there, I don't really want to get to Austin Hill, Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland, Cole Custer, Ty Dillon, Daniel Dye, Cody Ware, Casey Mears. Like none of these guys really project that well for me. Either they start too high or they're just too slow. In how salary is priced, I think, having Stenhouse or Dillon be like the bottom of the slate for you today is very doable. But if you do go down deep, I'd rather play, Todd Gill and Noah Gregson, some of these guys that start in the 30s. So um, I know videos have been kind of hit or miss as of late getting them out. So thank you guys for continuing to support us, support the channel. I'll post the spreadsheet over on X. It's at FastCarsFM. But hope everyone has a good Sunday and good luck today.